Thank you. Now we have Sebastian on Zoom. I think you can.
Hi.
Sebastian, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Welcome.
Welcome.
So you have your screen sharing, or
seems to work, right?
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. Hello and welcome. I'm very pleased to present my visual vignette to you. And the first thing I want to talk about, what is a visual vignette in the first place? So it's a method developed among others by Masha and Rachel Douglas Jones. It's an essayistic form that combines text and images, and it's all about sensing. It's about sensing what you want to research, about reflecting how you perceive it, and then visualizing this process through a vignette. And in my artwork, I try to sense the first materializations of a smart city in Seestadt. So what is Seestadt? You can see an aerial shot from it in this first poster. It's a newly built housing district, a flagship project of Vienna, and it's the proclaimed smart city of Vienna. And as many have done as part of the symposium, I first asked myself, what is a smart city? Where does it begin and where does it end? And I conceptualized it as followed, as digital oasis surrounded by Analogue Desert. And this metaphor reflects the ideology of a smart city, that it is a land of abundance, welcoming citizens who suffer from the many deficiencies of analog space. And it should also highlight that smart cities have borders and that the dream of perfect integration is limited to these borders. So after conceptualizing this metaphor, I tried to sense the smart oasis at Seestadt, mostly by walking and by using the panoptic gaze of aerial footage and maps. When you go to Seestadt, it almost feels like you're leaving Vienna because you're surrounded by single-family houses and fields. But then you turn right and you are in the urban center once again. So Seestadt, as you can see, is indeed quite isolated. And it's still becoming, it's not finished, but the first settlers have already moved in. And Seestadt has water, and it is accompanied by harmonic tales of perfect integration. There is a data lake and an actual lake that lends it its name. But if you look closer, the reality of the district is much more dissonant when it's fantasy. And the smart city oasis actually consists of many separated oases, which might be interconnected or not, which might work together or not. And in my vignettes, I focus on two smart oases in this district, both from the transport sector. The first is an automated driving oasis, and I just let this sink in quickly. And the second one is a bike rental oasis. And in both cases, I focused on the way technology perceives the environment through sensors and sensing practices, and how it perceives us, the thirsty humans coming from the analog desert. And I also reflect on how it feels to be sensed by the machines. As a citizen coming from the outside, I in the end realized that these smart oases have little to do with me. Their impact is limited to Seestadt, and at first I felt a little bit left out. But then I realized that all of this is more of a gimmick and a fancy facade, because the seemingly analog desert actually is a land of plenty. We have buses, we have electricity, and we may even rent bicycles in much larger numbers across Vienna's other districts.
You have 1 minute.
Finally, I wondered what will become of Seestadt's smart oasis. Will there be a smart city messiah capable of building more and more interconnected oases until everything is part of this alliance? Or will Seestadt be swallowed by a more general push towards automated city services and large-scale digital infrastructures which would make the term smart city obsolete. Thank you, everyone. Write on the digital mood board or via mail. Thank you.